Actress Nico Parker has responded to the backlash and criticism about her being cast as a race-swapped Astrid in the upcoming live-action How to Train Your Dragon film. She claims she just doesn't care about the backlash, but as we'll see as part of her longer answer, she does indeed care and seems to care quite a bit. Roll this up over at fandompulse.com. You can find the link in the description below. I encourage you to head on over there, become a subscriber, get on our mailing list so you don't miss out on any of our articles that we're putting up throughout the week. Only cover about 2 articles here a day on YouTube, but I'm writing between 6 to 7 every single day, and my co-owner, John De La Rose, is putting up around 3 to 5 every single day. So if you're not on the email list, you're missing out on a lot of news regarding pop culture. So with that out of the way, let's get into this article right here. So she responded to the backlash in a new interview with the Times of London. She says there's some people that really love the animated movies and really want to see an exact play-by-play of that film. And I hope that you can watch the new version and find something that you love about it regardless. But for the people that just hate inclusivity, hate change, when it comes to that side of things, I just don't care. If I wouldn't value your opinion on most things in life, I can't value your opinion on my hair. If I did, I would go mad. So she thinks it's somehow all about her hair, which is just utterly ridiculous. It's clearly part of a larger trend. It is part of a policy that was put in place by a number of the studios, including Universal, which is making this film. In fact, Universal is actually under investigation by the FCC for its DEI policies and its discrimination that it was engaged in. So it's not just about your hair. That's utterly ridiculous, and she is clearly trying to downplay what is actually going on. And that just kind of shows a lot of dishonesty on her point, because I find it very hard to believe that she thinks people are just criticizing her casting because the fact they didn't dye her hair and she didn't wear blue contacts. No, that is not what is happening. And I think she does know that, right? Because she even says before that, but for the people that just hate inclusivity, hate change, like for some reason we should be okay with change for change's sakes. It's just utterly ridiculous. And as far as inclusivity, we know that when these woke activists are using that term, they are using the opposite of what it actually means, because they are indeed engaging in discrimination, and they are indeed trying to exclude people by using the term inclusivity. Because what do these people do? They lie, they double down, and they project all of the time. They're always trying to change the meaning of words to fit whatever narrative that they are trying to push in order to achieve power, so that they can then destroy things. That is what we see time and time and time again. Nevertheless, despite her saying she doesn't care, she then went on to claim that she hopes her casting is an example of Hollywood making progress. She says, when I was younger, the amount of mixed race or black icons, people that I would look to on screen to be like, oh, this feels like me, felt really minimal in comparison to what it could be for young people now. And I think that's really special. There's still a long way to go for women in general in terms of new parts, original material, and female-led stories. But I think that everything's changing. I'd like to think that I could contribute to that change at some point. So she says she doesn't care. Then she talks about how it's so important, and then how she wants to be part of the change. So she clearly does indeed care, and she does indeed want to push this ideology throughout all of Hollywood. And we've seen this from other celebrities over the past couple of years. I think Brie Larson probably the most prominent of those, trying to push inclusivity. She had some kind of like inclusion riders that she would put in her contracts, and now she basically doesn't even get any work whatsoever. It doesn't usually work out for those people in the long term, and they are seemingly getting thrown aside because they become box office poison. We'll see if that is the case here with Nico Parker. So she's not the first one to address the backlash either. If you recall, we got the director, Dean DeBlois, I think that's how you say his name. He responded to the criticism over on Instagram. He shared this post here from this guy, Elam, who said, I swear y'all have to let go of, oh, Astrid is white, not black. Okay, and it's not about the color, it's about the acting. And plus, a Latina, a person of color, voiced her, so what are you going to hate the voice actress now? It's just an absurd comment that we see kind of all the time, that somehow voice acting is comparable to live action acting, and that's just utterly ridiculous because the character is still looking the same way. You're making two different comparisons here. You're trying to compare a voice to what a person actually looks like, and what the criticisms that we're typically making are about what the person looks like, and it's clearly part of some kind of DEI agenda that is happening at these companies, which they all publicly say that they are engaging in. Like, they publicly say this stuff on their website. So it's just a dishonest argument. And of course, the director here just is like, yes, I want to engage with that dishonest argument. And he says, exactly. We auditioned many actors for the roles, including actors who looked like their animated counterparts. But we chose the actors who best embodied the spirit and personality of the characters, since the tribe in this version is made up of descendants of the finest dragon fighters from everywhere the Vikings had ever traveled, which historically was far and wide. Vikings mixed with many cultures. So he's basically revealing that they are making massive changes to the lore of the films. And that's how he is justifying race swapping the characters by changing the entire lore of the films. I mean, you just can't make this stuff up. He continues saying, still, we're crafting a fantasy, not historical fact, and all will be revealed in time. We're not making a shot-for-shot remake. We just stuck close, to key moments to honor the original, which I remain very proud of. The teaser features a few of those moments. Instead of a completely new tale, we aim to embellish and deepen without abandoning the story that fans love. Yet you still have kept the same name. You didn't change the name of the film. You haven't tried to indicate that this is a new story. You are literally just trying to change the things that were already done because you think you can now somehow do it better. As we've always seen. And what's crazy is this guy actually worked on the animated movie. I think he was like the script writer or something like that. But clearly this is what happens when you drink the woke Kool-Aid. Obviously in the original animated version, Astrid, as I said, is white with blonde hair and blue eyes. Nico Parker does not look like that at all. You can see kind of her right there. Brown hair, darker skin tone, brown eyes, etc. Doesn't look like the character. And I think we can, as viewers, expect that these live action remakes should indeed have characters or have actors that look like the characters. I think we should come to expect that. I think that is what we expect. I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting that to be true. I mean, you're supposed to be adapting the thing. You should be casting people that look like the characters. And the idea that she's somehow the best person for the job is utterly ridiculous. We've seen numerous occasions where casting agents or casting directors literally indicate they make casting decisions to push woke ideology. We also know that that casting directors now look into, and producers, etc., look into how many Instagram subscribers people have, etc. There's lots of factors that go into it. It clearly is not the people who are the best job. And for that part, you can't be the best job if you don't actually look like the character. But that is what Nico Parker and Dean DeBlois have said in response to this. We'll see what happens with this film. I have a feeling it's probably going to do decent at the box office just because How to Train Your Dragon is such a popular IP and brand. But we'll see how it does moving forward. I have a feeling that it might be something similar to Star Wars, where we see massive diminishing returns as people realize that the movie isn't actually an adaptation of the animated films, and they've made significant changes to the story, as DeBlois has indicated that they have done. So that is definitely something we will keep track of and something to watch. But let me know what you guys make of what Nico Parker had to say here. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, and to always, always speak the truth.
Why would you be afraid of the people? Why are you not afraid of God instead of man?